Hello and welcome to Modelled Ads. Soviet armoured fighting vehicle colour schemes, markings and camouflage patterns are little well understood outside of a few specialist publications, and whilst a few do the rounds, it's unusual to see much published in English that is both affordable and accessible. With the Eastern Front now back in focus, it's with interest that, courtesy of Fernando over at AK Interactive, we take a peek through the pages of their recent Soviet War Colours 1936-45 profile guide. AK Interactive's Soviet War Colours is a 103-page soft-bound book with 197 separate colour plates depicting Soviet armoured fighting vehicles, including light, medium and heavy armour, as well as soft-skin, captured and Lend-leased vehicles manufactured between 1936 and 1945, and can be purchased direct for €21.50 plus postage and packing. That's around £18 or $29 US. Soviet War Colours opens with a prologue and then an introduction summarising the Soviet tank industry before diving right into light armoured fighting vehicles. What follows is a fairly comprehensive collection of Soviet vehicles, many of which feature distinctive markings, insignia, slogans or camouflage patterns deriving from the Spanish Civil War, the Sino-Soviet border conflict, the Winter War, the Great Patriotic War and the Soviet-Japanese War of 1945. Where vehicles' date and location are known, they're cited in the caption below each illustrated vehicle, but it would have been nice to see more than one page of the original photographs for comparison. Some pages focus on particular aspects of armoured vehicles, like this one on the T-34-76's hexagonal turret, or look in more detail at particular variants like this IS-2. Captured and Lend-lease vehicles are also covered before ending on a note about colours that one can't help thinking might better have been located at the front of the book. What's helpful here are the colour swatches indicating typical shadow, base and highlight colours, which will be useful to anyone considering colour modulation techniques or wondering exactly which shade of green is closest to their take on 4BO. A less than useful collection of contemporary photographs follows, with colours closing with a bibliography of sources. The strength of this book resides in its production quality and illustrated content rather than written narrative. The colour plates give wargamers a single, comprehensive reference point when painting their armoured fighting vehicles, and include many examples for those wanting to paint their vehicles in a shade other than green. The colour swatches matched to AK Interactive's range of dedicated Soviet paints are useful, and the convenience will doubtless appeal to many. Whilst the topic of unit insignia is not discussed at any length, the range of motifs and symbols illustrated should help add authenticity and variety to your paint jobs. Weaknesses include the quality of the English translation, which is poor, grammatically inaccurate and sometimes pretty incomprehensible. In a publication with so much visual impact, the presence of a couple of pages of text on tables relating to the number of Lend-lease vehicles is jarring. Inconsistencies in the style of the different plates is sometimes distracting and misleading, with many vehicles represented in different lights and therefore shades of green, and the weathering effects applied. If you've got a lot of Soviet armour to paint and you're in need of an affordable one-stop reference point, I can't think of a better place to start than this high-quality publication. Likewise, if you're interested in painting up your Soviet armour a little differently using bi- or tritone camouflage patterns, or even whitewash, this is definitely worth a look. Just don't expect an easy read.